there, it's Haz, and I have the ninja build ready for you all that you voted for in our recent channel poll. This build is very casual friendly, focusing on ranged combat and co-op alike, but it works with AI party members just as well, or if you decide to solo. Thank you for your patience. I've been sick for the past week and I'm a bit late with this video, but I hope you will enjoy it. Also, feel free to check out the rest of my channel and subscribe for more Final Fantasy and Square Enix content. Ninja is one of the most versatile and best support jobs in Final Fantasy Origin, but I wanted to experiment a little bit to offer a different playstyle from the usual ones, and I decided to concentrate on their Shuriken ninja tools. This build is a break build, meaning we will focus on agility as our main stat, and our goal is to break enemies instead of dealing health damage. It can be relatively grinding and gear dependent, as it requires a good amount of affinities and agility in order to one-hit break bosses. But the playstyle works even while doing the campaign, or when you're low geared, if you would like to enjoy a ranged Shuriken-based ninja. As I said, the Shadow is built around using Shurikens, two of Ninja's ninjutsu tools, and in order to make them usable, we will need to use Ninja as our main job and Berserker as our secondary job. Shurikens are special for ninjas, as all physical damage and critical modifiers also apply to them, meaning we can exploit all break damage mechanics we have already learned. For our affinities, it is important to reach 400% Assassin affinity on both our Berserker and Ninja gear. This is in order to gain a 5 stackable break damage bonus that will be the foundation for our break damage. It is technically the only affinity that is a must-have, but it won't be sufficient for spectacular break damage, so I definitely recommend stacking more agility and break damage on our Ninja. 120% Duelist is fantastic for increasing our critical break damage by 20%, and Dragoon 120% for additional 16, and a good mix of strength and agility. From this point on, I recommend accumulating the maximum amount of agility and strength from affinities you can, in order to maximize your break damage. Strength, as you know, increases your physical damage, and agility increases the break damage you deal with critical hits. For our Berserker, apart from the 400% Assassin, I like to have the 250% Samurai damage boost on job change, which is a fairly simple and significant damage boost for any build. Since I wanted to avoid creating a more annoying playstyle for the ninja, I put Tyrant Affinities and Status Afflictions aside, and we want to focus on attacking enemies from behind to guarantee critical hits. If you have a reliable friend, on the other hand, you prefer to play co-op with, I would also recommend trying out the Tyrant 400% affinity that guarantees all your attacks to be critical as long as your friend keeps an elemental affliction on the target. This will make you instantly OP, and you can destroy all enemies in seconds with even your base unlimited Shurikens. For our commands, Invisible and Mighty Strikes are must-have. Invisible will increase the effects of our critical hits, dealing more break damage, and Mighty Strikes will make all enemies weak against all our attacks, and also enables our Dragoon affinity. For the third command, I prefer to choose between Summon Tachi for more flat damage, or if you like to spam more Shurikens and be quick, then Lunatic is a good choice as it increases the throwing animation. Just be aware of your break gauge as you won't be able to regenerate it. As mentioned before, Shuriken and Fuma Shuriken from Ninja are special ninjutsu tools, as all of your physical modifiers also work perfectly on them, along with critical hits and break damage. Fuma Shuriken costs 3 ninja tools, so you will have to be careful and make sure you aim right with them. But the advantage of normal Shurikens is that they are unlimited and you can use as many as you like, potentially allowing you to play a ranged character only throwing Shurikens. While a normal Shuriken is pretty pathetic damage, you can buff them up with all the list abilities and affinities we talked about to do very respectable break damage, as long as you backstab enemies with it. Combined with Lunatic, the base Shuriken can shred through any normal enemy in the game and even provide a fun support on bosses. Playing the Shadow Ninja is fairly straightforward. The most important aspect is not getting hit by any damage to keep your Assassin stacks up on 5, keeping Invisible, Mighty Strikes, and Berserk active on yourself, and going ham with any of your Shurikens from behind enemies and bosses. Invisible is very helpful here in co-op as it reduces the chance of enemies targeting you, allowing proper positioning for your Shurikens. For solo, I love to use the Bisect combo ability from Thief, as it's a 1 MP cost ability that moves Jack behind the enemy and allows you to follow up with quick Shurikens for maximum damage while avoiding a frontal attack at the same time. Throw is also a fantastic addition to a ranged playstyle, which can be equipped on any of your combo slots to throw your daggers similarly like a shuriken to save your ninjutsu points for the cost of 1 MP. Overall, this ninja build is far from the most OP and easiest build you can play in the game, but I found that the most OP builds are usually also the most boring ones, and I wanted to create something more engaging and different. I've been having a lot of fun with it myself, and it works pretty well against most enemies as long as you remain behind them to deal critical damage. I think my favorite discovery during the making of this build was how fun normal shurikens can be in an organized co-op environment where others inflict status ailments on enemies in order for you to crit with them all the time. It's just such a fun playstyle. Maybe one criticism I'm noticing at this point after a couple of builds is that the foundation for a lot of them seems to be very similar, from using Berserk, Samurai Affinity, and usually the same commands, but I think these are just basics that are required if you want to be one-shotting bosses, and they are absolutely not required to play Chaos 300. In the future, I would like to explore more theme builds that rely around unique playstyles and creative use of different affinities instead of just going for one-hit builds. I think that would be a lot of fun for something different. Either way, that is our Shuriken Ninja build, everyone. Hope you liked the video and let me know how you enjoyed this build if you'll try it. Thank you always for watching, and I'll see you next time.